hope so. Let's go. Hello, ballers, and a bro fist to you all. Yes, indeed, a little sneaky peek of something I threw together rather quickly. I told you this was going to happen, didn't I? The dog's fucking barking already. Oh my god, I can't stand it. The pain and misery. Anyway, hopefully he will stop. He's not going to stop, is he? It's going to be horrible. It's going to be the worst thing ever. Over the weekend on Saturday, we did have the opportunity to get a ton of you guys together and start filming some Way of the Warrior 2. And it felt fucking good, didn't it? It felt super, super fucking good. So many of you came down. I think we had about 90, 100 of you overall, especially in the final scenes. That's only a small snippet of the stuff we filmed on Saturday. My dog. I hate my fucking dog. One sec. Oh my god. What are you doing? Literally, there is nothing to bark at. What are you doing? This fucking guy. I'm trying to do a show. Get up there. This fucking guy. Oh my god. There's nothing there. What a little bastard. Little bastard. Fucking barking. Oh, I deserve it for cutting his balls off. Maybe so. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. Oh, what a great start to the show. Anyway, I'm kind of tempted to restart, but we'll go on regardless. So yeah, we got all of you down on Saturday, and we're going to do it again this Saturday. One of the big problems we had was with the Alliance guys. We had too many people in a certain area of the game, and it just wouldn't allow the Alliance guys to phase into Sylvanas. That sucks, because the scene we wanted to shoot on Saturday involves a lot of Horde and Alliance. So I'm working on a way to try and make it happen. We're going to be in Stranglethorn Vale, and hopefully, that's a relatively quiet zone. I did check, if you try and get more than like 200 people into one zone, it fucks it up with cross-realming. It just says, nah, there's too many people there, let's move you to a quieter realm. That is how the system is supposed to work. They're doing it right. They don't want a ton of people in one zone on one realm. They don't want that, which is kind of a pain in the ass, but we'll try and get it sorted. So it's Saturday, 7 PM. The web show is usually 8. It is, of course, web show week. It's also kind of my birthday. It's going to be busy stuff. It's going to be all that kind of stuff going on. So it's web show week. Get your bro fists sent in. The next show will be all the Christmas bro fists. Some of the ones you've sent in are awesome. Send them to preachgame@gmail.com. And also, Saturday, 7 PM GMT. Just check what time it is in your local area. That's all you need to do. Just Google it. What time is 7 PM London time where I am? And we're going to be shooting in Gurubashi Arena. Okay, so you should all be there. It's going to be really cool. So we're going to be filming that then. The last thing I want to get out before we move on to local news is today and very early tomorrow. Like in the next, I want to say 24 hours, if not less. So it's like the next 20 hours is the last orders we can take from the store before they will arrive at Christmas. The rest of the stuff is going to be sent out in January. So be aware. Today, like the rest of today and early tomorrow, is the only time you can get orders in, and then the suppliers stop supplying over Christmas until January. So that's it. That is it. That's the last we can do. Awesome. Let's move on with good fun stuff. I've been playing. I got a TV for my birthday. Yay! Off Emma, a big ass TV. It's pretty cool actually. It's a company called Handspree. Sounds German. It sounds like Delors made it. It's awesome as fuck. It's got every single connection in the universe, which is what I wanted. I didn't want anything flashy. I didn't want anything mega. I wanted something that had a lot of connections in the back. This thing has everything. It's fucking awesome. What it doesn't have is a 16:9 ratio, but whatever. First world problems, right? And we've been playing some GameCube on there. I was desperate, as you guys know, to play Super Mario Sunshine, right? Super Mario Sunshine. Haven't completed it. The only Mario I haven't completed. I was like, I need to play Super Mario Sunshine. Fuck that game, man. Shit. Who designed that game? Hard. Fucking hard. Are you kidding me? I almost smashed my brand new GameCube pad. Seriously, that fucking game is the most unforgiving game I have ever encountered. I have played some hard fucking games. Seriously hard games. Mario Sunshine is fucking so unforgiving. You fall slightly into some water. I mean, it's all stuff you can avoid. Kind of. The camera, compared to Mario 64, is retarded. The camera is fucking useless. But going into like black sludge, instant death. Can't jump out of it. Oh, you hit something while you... It's all stuff you can avoid. So as you get better at the game, you will stop failing. But you fail, like, on a stingray thing in Rico's Harbour. You, like, hit a thing that, like, bounces you, a buoy. You're dead. Start again. Fucking so annoying. Some of the secret hidden levels. Oh, my God. Some of the secret platform levels. Shit me, dude. I thought it was just me. I thought maybe I've just not platformed for long enough. You know, it's been a while since I've platformed. So I was, like, Googling it. My God. So much fucking complaining. Super Mario Sunshine is terrible. It's so fucking hard. It's okay if you do everything right the first time. I do feel like there's a slight lack of control compared to Mario 64, and the camera, sometimes that camera just hates you. It just does not want to go where you want it to go. You're controlling it, you move it where you want it, and then it moves again. You're like, you motherfucker! Motherfucker! Ugh! I almost smashed my pad. Ghosty was filming me. Very good of him. So we have some WoW news. Our Warlock video is finally done. So this is kind of the topic I wanted to talk about today. Is the amount of spells and how they work in World of Warcraft. I kind of think we're getting to the point where spells are just so bloated, it's ridiculous. In Star Wars The Old Republic, I already felt like there were too many spells. But that was because there were spells in Star Wars The Old Republic that worked in PvE and don't work in PvP. They flat out say this will not affect players. And that was like, for somebody who wants to bind everything, I'm finding bindings for stuff that I can't use in certain situations. And I was starting to get a little bit frustrated by that. I was like, I've got like 30 spells or something in Star Wars The Old Republic. I was a juggernaut. And it felt like too many. Even with a Naga, it was like, it's just, I'm binding stuff that I could barely ever use. Like certain stuns, certain abilities, you're just never really going to use them. But they're there. And they kind of do the same thing as something else, right? Which is pretty cool. Warlocks suffer in a different way. I think WoW overall right now has far too many spells that are pretty similar. Just too many spells going on. Let's condense the classes down and get them more unique again. Right now, classes are starting to get a little bit too homogenized. I think it's a fair thing to say. They're starting to get very similar. We look at a monk and we're like, yeah, it's kind of like a Ret Paladin Rogue combination. Look at a DK, very unique. Very unique. And all the important key bindings you need for a DK, there aren't that many. There really are not that many. A DK has one of the most condensed spells, amount of spells, than any other class. But then let's look at everything else. Shamans, outrageous amount of bindings. Monks, crazy amounts of bindings if you want to bind everything and use it properly. And Warlocks, even more so. So I got to thinking, we're probably due a big condense. Just slash some spells out of there we don't really need. We don't need Frost Ward and Ice Barrier. We don't need that shit. We just don't need it all together. It's not worthwhile. Let's just trim that fat down. We don't need 3 different DPS cooldowns that we just macro together. It's a waste. Why do that? It's not fun because we just macro them together, don't we? Oh, we make some one-shot video. Ooh, blow on the cooldowns. We need to trim this fat down and get into a more unique style of play. I finally got round to doing the Warlock videos, right? And this is one of the things that appealed to me and didn't appeal to me. As you know, during my time in Method, I was a Warlock as a kind of main class. Not for a great deal of time by any means. I was a Warlock for probably about 6 months, I would say. I never enjoyed it, and every week I played the Warlock, I got less and less interested in enjoying it or trying to enjoy it. It's more the point I'm trying to say. I got less interested in wanting to enjoy the Warlock. Once you get over the excitement is, I'm in method, I'm going to be doing some world first stuff, this is going to be awesome, I'm going to be able to do things like raid the PTR because people are likely to show the fuck up, all this kind of stuff. You're going to just be able to do 25-man raiding with good players. This is going to be awesome. I then started to, once you get over that, which doesn't take too long, especially if you've kind of done it before, you're then onto your class. And I was playing a new class. I hadn't played a Warlock since the Burning Crusade? Or Wrath of the Lich King? Yeah, Wrath of the Lich King. Early Wrath of the Lich King. I hadn't really played a Warlock since then, properly. And so I was getting used to it again. And everything about the Warlock looks appealing to me. It looks appealing. We get cool pets. We turn into demons. We summon Doom Guards, Infernals. We could do crazy things. I actually very much like dot spec classes. I do. I very much enjoy the Shadow Priest right now. I think the Shadow Priest is in a great place. I hope the damage gets fixed a little bit. All this kind of stuff really appealed to me. And then I played the Warlock consecutively for about 6 months. And every single week I got less and less happy with it. For a number of reasons. One of those reasons is how the spells work. Warlocks are not very pick up and play. Okay? People who played Warlocks for a long time will be like, Warlocks are easy. Well, sure, if you've played them for years or even for a good 12 months, you could probably have a good time on your Warlock. But I would say a Warlock, a good one, it's going to take you a couple of years to really start to push that class and understand exactly how everything works with your Warlock. One of the big questions on the Affliction video yesterday was, what about Haunt? It's one of the first videos I've had to do where I was literally, I need to take a section of this video to explain how the spells work. I shouldn't have to do that, right? I shouldn't. That, if you think about it from a common sense point of view, I should not have to take a section out of a guide to say, hey, this is how your spells work. If it's something like Fireball, I don't have to explain how Fireball works. Do I? I don't have to do that. I don't have to explain how Living Bomb works. I don't have to explain how Templar's Verdict works. You have Holy Power, you spam the fuck out the button, you hit it in the face really fucking hard. Shadow Priests don't really suffer from this either. They refresh their dots far too regularly to be too bothered by this. It all comes down to the fact that Warlocks are not a friendly class. I don't think they are a very friendly class. In fact, I had an old friend of mine contact me on Skype and he was saying he was going to re-download WoW and he was thinking about playing a Warlock. I told him not to do it. I said, don't do that. I said, you won't enjoy it. And he said, why? I said, you're very micromanagement heavy and you're going to ask me a shitload of questions. And the worst thing ever is people asking me a ton of questions. And what I don't want to say to my friends is, hey, go and watch one of my videos. You know? I don't like saying that to my friends. I've made a video on it. Go fucking watch it. Right? Go watch the fucking video. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So in the Warlock Affliction video, as soon as I started, I hadn't actually planned on doing that section of the video. I hadn't done it. I wasn't like, okay, I need to do something about dots here. But as soon as I opened my mouth to discuss the Warlock class, I was like, guys, I need to take a section here to talk about the dots. It just instinctually fell on me that I'm going to get a ton of questions about this. Let's answer it now. So Warlocks have, what, like 5 spells? Let's count them. Haunt, Malefic Grasp, Corruption, UA, Agony. Boo. 4, well, 3 work differently to the other 2. It's really annoying, isn't it? They work differently because they all look the fucking same. Let's take Malefic Grasp out there. If you've got something like Class Timer, all 4 of the remaining spells look exactly the same. They debuff the mob in some way. You have to track how long they're on the mob, and then you recast it. You are playing a dot spec. They should work the same. What's really annoying is they don't update the dots as you are getting more buffs. This is why some locks do way up here DPS, and some locks do this. It kind of actually goes against Blizzard's fucking design. Blizzard's design was, hey, you should be able to do 90% of the damage that this class can do just by playing the game, just by keeping your dots up, or just by, you know, being active with your class. You should be fine. To do the extra 10%, you'll need to know a little bit more about how the game works. With Warlocks, especially Affliction, really not the case. Your DPS is going to suck massive balls if you don't know what you're doing. They're going to suck nuts. So I explained this. Instantly, I missed out talking about Haunt. What do I see on the video? One of the top thumbs up comment. What about Haunt? I've been doing this with Haunt. What the hell do I do now? Ah, of all the things to miss out, Haunt. Now we've got 4 spells that look exactly the same. 3 of them work the same way, 1 of them doesn't. But they look the same. Really fucking annoying, right? So, and then I had to try and explain in a short, concise manner is that Haunt works in a different way. It works like Sunder Armor. Alright? It works like something you put on the mob, and everything that's already on there and what you're casting is automatically affected. You don't have to worry about it. In fact, it's nothing you need to worry about. It really isn't. But it raises questions, and Warlocks do that all the time. I used to have a nightmare. I used to talk extensively with Sparko about the noobiest shit in the world, and I'm sure he was thinking to himself, how has this guy got into our guild? He's a fucking noob. I'd be like, dude, what are you doing with dot clipping in terms of Curse of Doom, in terms of the buffs and stuff? And he didn't really have an answer sometimes. He was like, well, it kind of works this way, but it kind of works that way as well. Is it worth losing time or not? I don't know. And we'd have like little backwards and forwards about the stupidest shit about Curse of Doom. We shouldn't have to do that, especially at the level that we were playing at, right? We should not have to fucking do that. We shouldn't have to have a long discussion about what the hell to do with Curse and Doom at certain points in the fight. Let's not have that discussion. It shouldn't happen. Should we clip this part of the damage or not? What do you think? And he's like, well, I kind of do this sometimes, but sometimes I don't. Are you using Fell Flame? Well, sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't. We want an answer. And this all comes down to the mechanics are so fucking interwoven now and all mishmashed together. Probably due to how many patches it's had. Band-Aid fixes all the way. But can we use the argument that this had a lot of Band-Aid fixes? We're only a couple of months into Mists of Pandaria. The Warlock specifically has had a huge overhaul in design. Should we still be having these discussions? No, these seems like vanilla arguments to me. Perhaps the Burning Crusade discussions talking about this kind of stuff. Especially considering it's something that other classes just don't have to deal with. One of the most annoying things ever was playing a Warlock and having to do pet resummoning. Oh, this spell is actually more effective. And people are mathing out, hey, if you stop casting at 6 seconds before, start casting this spell, and then switch it into a different pet, you'll get a minor DPS increase. As somebody who wants to get the best out of their class, how fucking annoying is that? I would be doing Ultraxian Heroic. I would be Demonology to buff the rest of the raid, right? And they're all DPSing away. I have to stop casting at 6 seconds, start casting a Felguard, use Fellstorm, use a mod to track exactly how long Fellstorm lasts, then instantly use a Shard to resummon a Fell Hunter to not lose any DPS. Like 3 times a fight. Motherfucker. Seriously. We have far too many fucking spells. I want to see some comments in the YouTube videos. On the YouTube video tomorrow, I want to see your comments on this situation. Do you feel your class has too many spells? How many spells do you just not even bother with? Like, they're there, you just don't fucking use them. Or you might use them on one particular fight. And it's like, oh, now I use that spell. Cool. One of the big things that's brought up about this is encounter design. I'm working on the Big Monday video, which will be Tuesday, by the way. The Destro videos are going out tonight. As I worked so hard over the weekend, literally I was working over the weekend, and we live streamed last night, so you know it's true, is I had Ghosty here. I couldn't even land with Ghosty. We were supposed to play some Dead Island. We couldn't do it. My PC was tied up rendering. I was working all Sunday. Ugh. And working all Saturday. So it's a fucking nightmare. So the Big Monday video will be Tuesday again. Sorry about that. But the Destro videos are going out tonight. I've been looking into encounter design quite extensively, more so than my own thoughts, doing research, backstory. I love this stuff, by the way. For the Monday videos, oh man, I love researching the shit out of it and reading like old blog posts from developers and all this kind of stuff. And I've been heavily researching encounter design and what makes a good encounter and what makes a bad one. And it comes down to various situations of how far the game is willing to push you and how simple they can push you, how simply they can push you. I was looking into various encounters that were literally hard because of what classes you needed to bring. That's all they had to do. And these fights are renowned for being super hard, super awesome fights. And they're not, in my opinion. So I've been working on that. All this kind of stuff ties together. We now have classes, and the reason I bring this up is the encounter design tended to work off some spell some class had that barely ever got used. Like Reliquary of Souls. Anybody who did Reliquary of Souls, try doing that without Curse of Tongues or Mind Numbing Poison. Who's using Mind Numbing Poison in PvE? Who's using Curse of Tongues? This boss, try doing it without it. Seriously, just these one mechanics that are like, hey, we've got this spell, no one ever uses it. Let's think of some fucking mechanic to really make them use it. And then you say to the rogues, you need to put Mind Numbing Poison on, and they just go, what? Why? Oh, this boss needs it. Are you kidding me? They lose damage now. And the other Warlock's like, you have to use Curse of Tongues. Like, what? No, I don't want to use Curse of Tongues. No. Yeah, you have to, otherwise we can't do the fight. It's like, ugh, God, lame. Mind-numbing poison is actually for PvP. Remember that. Unless you're doing Reliquary of Souls. Remember that. Remember that. Very important. Last thing I wanted to touch on today, it's Monday, so I'm always busy, so we have about a 30-minute daily today, is various silly replies they had all over from Ghostcrawler this week, over the weekend, which was kind of dog shit stuff. Really dog shit stuff until he's got into the little bit, and he drops... Ghostcrawler's awesome, right? He picks out the tweets that are really retarded. He's awesome at doing this. He picks out the tweets that are totally stupid. Like, anybody who's faced a Blood DK in PvP knows why they were nerfed. Blood DKs know why they were nerfed. He decides to tweet about something about Blood DKs complaining that they got nerfed in PvP. Why I get nerfed? I was just healing all the damage and never dying. I'm slow. I'm slow. That's my punishment for never fucking dying, is that I'm slow. That seems totally fair. Oh, come on. He likes to pick out all this fucking stupid shit to reply to. And then right in the middle, he throws out something really awesome, which fucking makes it cool. One question. He says, one of the tweets was, why the huge nerf to glyphs? Why do you think glyphs exist right now in the game? Can you think of a legitimate reason why glyphs exist? There's only one glyph which is mirrored on another class that I think is actually a good idea. And that's it. I've played every class, you know that. I've played every spec. I know all the glyphs, pretty much. Why are the glyphs in the game right now? And can anybody guess which glyph I think is actually a cool glyph? That's it. I'll give you a couple of minutes to think on that. So he said, why are they there? Why are glyphs there? Some people are saying novelty, tree farm, dark hypothesis, novelty again. Novelty, 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 vampiric blood. Okay, 2, vampiric blood. I'll claim vampiric blood. Vampiric blood is a good one. But I kind of think the vampiric blood one makes sense because on certain encounters it works. I don't think people who understand... It's like the anti-magic shell glyph. Any of you don't know how the anti-magic shell glyph works, which I actually assume is quite a lot of you who play DKs. Especially, I think I did the Blood DK video and there was some up his own ass Super Blood DK who tried to troll that video and was just completely wrong because he didn't have any idea how these glyphs work. They're actually worded very carefully. Glyph of anti-magic shell and glyph of vampiric blood are something that people apply, but they don't really know why, which kind of annoys me. I tried to explain a lot about why you do certain things. I don't think a lot of people know why they glyph vampiric blood. They just inspect someone, see they use it, and do it. Same with anti-magic shell. Anybody? Frenzied Regen, vampiric blood, they're the same thing. I'll give you a clue. Fire mages. Glyph of the battle healer. Combustion! Yes! There we go. The combustion glyph is fucking awesome. It is really, really good. That glyph is fucking amazing. So good. So fucking good. I could think of literally vampiric blood, which I kind of think should just be baked into DKs now. I think it is generally always better to be healed for more. I think that should pretty much be baked in. If they want a glyph that changes it to increase stam, that would be better. The AMS glyph is kind of... It's a good idea on some fights, but most people do not understand how that glyph works. Therefore, they don't use it properly. Some stuff like Army of the Dead... Yeah, I get it. It's a great glyph. Army of the Dead should do that as standard. Army of the Dead should not be taunting mobs as standard. You should have to glyph it. Then we can really mock people. When you see your Army of the Dead taunting, you'll be like, dude, what the fuck? Are you serious? You're using this as DPS DK? What the hell are you doing? That kind of stuff is pretty cool. But that's, what, 4 or 5 glyphs? We could probably fit a couple more in there if you really think about it. That are pretty cool. But nothing comes close to the combustion glyph. Nothing comes close. And I want to see something like that for everybody. The recklessness glyph is kind of the same. The idea that you can really think about what you're doing in this fight. It's not a talent, right? It's not a talent. Combustion, it can't be a talent. But glyphs are kind of an extra tagged on bit of the game that could do without it. We have reforging, we have glyphs, we have talents. Glyphs... We could kind of drop this whole thing. I think we're pretty close to being able to say glyphs are a fucking waste of time in general. It's nice to be able to modify your class slightly more for PvP and PvE. That's where I'd like glyphs to go. I would like to see more novelty glyphs, maybe 6 novelty slots. and many, many reduced main glyphs, really, and just more towards push people. This is more of a PvP one, this is more of a PvE one. I would like to see that. I would actually like to see probably twin glyphs that say, do you want to do this, or do you want this spell to act like this? On a basic level, it will do something pretty straightforward, but if you're PvEing, maybe it does this. If you're PvPing, maybe it does this. The whole glyph thing is really bloated and out of fucking control. It used to be good, kind of. I mean, Glyph of Mortal Strike, 10% more damage. Why wouldn't you take that? You'd just be an idiot not to. But he's replying a lot about glyphs, and I don't think they know what to do with it. They're like, we've got this glyph system, it works. It's in the game, it looks pretty cool. But we don't know what to do with it. We wanted it to not affect things, but there are certain glyphs which do have an effect, so you kind of have to take it anyway. There's always going to be that aspect of the game where you look at a glyph and you're like, that's awesome, I need to take it. The only true choice I think exists is the Glyph of Combustion. That glyph makes total sense. It's perfect. It's really a perfect glyph. It's so clever how it's designed. It's just, hey, do you want it to last longer and be better used by you? Or do you want it more regularly so you can do something easier with it? Wonderful design glyph. I want to see your thoughts on glyphs. Do you think it's just a waste of time now, the whole glyph thing? You get a new character. It's not too bad if you've got a main for a while, but a new character, it's like you've got to do all the reforging. You've got to do your talents, and you've got to do the glyphs. And it's kind of, you've got a lot to do with a class that, it's kind of, you want to glyph, don't you? You want to buy the glyphs, you want your glyph slots to be full, you want to fill the slots. I've got some characters I don't have a third glyph in, because they're useless. How many of you have full glyphs because you needed to fill the slots? That's what I want to see. How many of you have full glyphs because you wanted to fill the slots rather than just you wanted that glyph? I kind of want to see that. How many have to do that? Me, yup, OCD, I do. I don't like empty slots. Frost DK, me here, I bought all glyphs to fill the slots. Yup, me, OCD. I've only got one or two. Yup, filled the slots. Filled the slots because you want to have it complete. Your character looks incomplete. I luckily don't suffer from that. And I was going through some of my videos, good example of how true this is. Some of my videos, you'll see me go to the glyph section of a guide, and I will tell you, hey, these two are important. Don't worry about the third one, because it's a bullshit glyph slot. There's nothing in there that's worthwhile. Some of them only have one reasonably good glyph. The glyph system's balked, man. It's all fucked up, and I don't like it. I don't like stuff that's in the game that seems important and isn't. There's better time to be spent elsewhere. Either drop the glyph system or invest time into making it work. I don't think people had a problem with glyphs. This is one of those things that wasn't really broken, so why did they fix it? Were we that bothered that we had to glyph our Mortal Strike? Or did we feel like, now my Mortal Strike hits harder? It's okay to say glyphs are boring, but glyphs that are empty slots is even fucking worse. Am I right? I would rather have a boring glyph that does something cool, like buff my damage, than an empty slot. As these guys have just proven right here, they're filling slots just to have the 3 in there. But they don't really want them. I would rather have, if you're going to have this glyph system in the game, let me fill the slots with something cool. Let me have a choice. If I can't find out of what, how many main glyphs do you think we have? Like 20, 25 each? Something like that? If I can't find 3, 3 out of 25 that are worthwhile to my character, something fucking wrong there, isn't there? There's something seriously wrong if you can't find 3 out of 25 or 20 or whatever it might be that you might want. That's fucking fucked up. That's fucking stupid. That's stupid. Hunters. The other class I want to talk about today is Hunters. The rest of the wine that I saw, the only legitimate wine I saw coming out of the recent blue post was about Mage's level 90 talents. I made no secret in the videos that Mage's level 90 talents are some of the worst I have ever seen. I don't know how, sometimes I don't know what goes on in these meetings where they discuss what the hell to do with a talent. What happens? I've discussed on a couple of videos is things that sound good on paper, but they're not. They're not cool. Like Atramedes Heroic. It sounds really good. It doesn't translate well into the game. Spine Heroic, Madness of Deathwing. Again, things that sound good, but when you actually see it, you're like, ugh, it kind of doesn't work. The Mage level 90 talents, and even the Warlock ones, I think both casters got a little bit shafted. Level 90 should be amazing. When I was level 89 on my Warrior on the beta, some of you watched me live stream my process from 85 to 90 on my Warrior, the second time I did it. I was really, really excited to get Avatar. Genuinely excited because that talent sounded amazing. I'm sure the Paladins, especially if you're a Ret, were really, really looking forward to Execution Sentence. I'm sure you were. I'm sure you were level 89 saying, dude, I'm getting Execution Sentence in the next few levels. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be off the fucking chain. I remember when I was level 90, as soon as I hit level 90, everyone was like, dude, cast Avatar. Let's see what it looks like. I want to see it look fucking awesome. And all this kind of stuff. You guys were like, please cast it. I was like, no, we've got to get into the right gear. We've got to get somewhere. All this kind of stuff. I see some, all this kind of stuff here is Rogue Shuriken Toss. It's like, what the hell? How can it be so different? How can it be so different with level 90 talents? So the Mage ones are just atrocious. I think the Mage has got the worst of the worst. At least Killjaden's Cunning has some benefit. Even Manaroth's Fury for the Warlocks has some benefit. The Rogues might have Shuriken Toss, but the other two aren't terribly bad. Not compared to the Mage ones. The Mage ones are purely an inconvenience. Your level 90 talent should not be an inconvenience. Your reward for hitting level 90 is to be a little bit frustrated with what you've got now to use. You've now got this new thing. It's kind of annoying. Oh, that's amazing. Thank God I capped. I'm so happy I capped now that I have this spell that's just a fucking pain in the ass. That is the best thing ever. Rune of Power. How cool is it that I have to stop casting and cast Rune of Power and stay in it? That's fucking really cool, isn't it? That's so fucking good. I'm so happy I got that. Oh, Invocation, you say? So regularly, every 45 seconds, I have to evocate in the middle of boss fights. And if for any reason I slightly mistime it and have to move, I now just do less damage for a significant portion of time. Thank you. Thank you so fucking much. You assholes. The Mage level 90 talents are so fucking balked. It's ridiculous. They're fucking crazy. Oh, I can't wait to evocate again. I can't wait to do it in the next 45 seconds. This is going to be the best thing ever. In fact, it's like every 40 seconds. Are you fucking crazy? Jesus, it drives me crazy. What the fuck are these guys thinking about? So they're saying, can we get Rune of Power castable on the move? Something to make it better. And they're like, we kind of... it needs a little work. Yeah, it needs a little work. Seriously, it does need a little work. But Hunters. Moving on to what I wanted to talk about was Hunters. Are they looking to get a possible... The question was, is there a possible Warlock-style redesign? There's about, what, 30 or 40 tweets on here. There's like 3 cool ones. Redesign for Hunters in the future. New talent system seems to cause button bloat and spread DPS thin. I talked about this on the Hunter videos. Survival was amazing in Cataclysm because, one, it was simple to play, but not like BM simple as it was back then. And it allowed you to just enjoy the game. They seem to not like that. Sometimes Blizzard doesn't like things that nobody seems to be complaining about. I find that very strange. It must irk somebody. Somebody must be raising these problems somewhere, like Glyphs. It must be pissing them off, but nobody's really complaining about it. I never saw a complaint about Hunters. Never. Survival Hunters. I think I just pulled my mic out. Okay. Did I pull my mic out? Alright. Okay, it should be back. It should be back on now. Yeah. Okay, good. My bad. Yeah. No one's complained about it. Who's complaining? Who complained about Survival Hunters in Cataclysm? Who said Hunters don't have enough spells? I don't recall that conversation ever happening. Ever. Never at all. Survival Hunters seem perfectly happy. Maybe they got a little bit bored being pigeonholed into being survival for a while, but I don't recall them ever being like, hey, I wish we had 4 more fucking cooldowns. I don't remember that conversation. When did that take place? Was there a mass forum where people went, hey, we need at least 4 more short cooldown spells, or we quit the game? I do not fucking remember that conversation. I don't remember BM saying the same thing. I certainly don't remember Marksman Hunters saying the same thing. Like, hey, come on! Come on, we need like 4 more fucking cooldowns, dude. We need things that are on 20-second cooldowns. What? When did that fucking happen? And now the Hunters are pissed. It's like, yeah, we do reasonably good damage. Hunters do reasonably good damage, and sometimes they do top damage. Awesome. I don't want to look after all this shit anymore. I don't want to do that. It just seems like you've just said, hey, Hunters have too few spells. Let's throw a bunch more at them and see what happens. Very poor way to design the game, but I think they had an idea. I kind of think Survival could have used maybe 1 or 2 more spells. I think that would have been fine. But all the extra shit we got on top of it, it's kind of like, really? It's fidgety. You saw on the Hunter videos that I did, I created a new bar. I had to create a new bar that was more central to my character, which showed all these little fucking cooldowns, because, hell, I'm doing a guide for you guys. I can't not use them. I can't be like, Diabetes is just a pain in the ass. I'm just going to fuck it off. You know what I mean? Murder of Crows just fucking sucks. I'm just getting rid of it and all this kind of stuff. And so it's like, hey, come on. We just didn't need it. I don't think we need it. 1 or 2 more spells would have been nice, but now we've got too many spells, and the hunters are starting to complain. They're like, you know, we've just got too much shit going on. And then you look at a Fire Mage. I think the Fire Mage is probably going to be the asshole of all of Mists of Pandaria right now, due to how little they really have to do and how much fun they are. That's the perfect combo. They don't do a great deal. They can fully enjoy the fights. Hey, I just have to make sure I have a Pyroblast crit up when I pop my combustion. Hey, that's it. You know what I mean? It's like Fonzie. Fire Mage is like, oh, you've got 6 spells to worry about? Hey, you know, I don't know. What do you want me to tell you? I got combustion every minute. It's alright. It's alright. I'll just go ahead and keep casting Fireball and Pyroblast and Living Bomb. I'm done, bro. That's it. I'm done. Oh, I've got Rune of Power, though. You don't know what it's like, Rune of Power. It's like when men defend giving birth. You might have to give birth, woman. You might have to push out a bowling ball from between your legs, but I have to shave every day. I know, right? I have to shave all the fucking time. Get it together, son. I always have to fucking shave. Giving birth is nothing. You have to do it one time. Fucking retarded. So, do they need a full redesign? No, they don't need a full redesign. We just don't need Murder of Crows and Diabeast and other things mixed on top of it. It's just too much. It's boring. Tracking loads of little cooldowns on your character is boring. It's boring. We want to enjoy the game. We don't want to just, hey, I pressed Diabeast at the right time. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. We don't like it. So that's me. If you've got any questions for today, those are the kind of things I wanted you to discuss for Monday. And we'll talk about them a few times over the week as we move on to tomorrow. If you've got any questions for me, go ahead. Otherwise, I have to get back to work because I've got Destruction Warlock videos waiting right behind me. Right fucking behind me. Oh, the last one, there's a lot of talk going on in the chat, so maybe you're discussing it again. Again, the last time you can order from the store before January. You can still order, but it won't arrive until January. This kind of same thing is today and early tomorrow UK time. So I'll put the YouTube video up very, very early. It should leave you a couple of hours to get it up. But please don't order after that and then complain. Please don't order after that and complain. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. What do you think about Ellie Shamans? Ellie Shamans the same as Destruction Warlocks. I wish they'd get rid of their guaranteed crit on Lava Burst. I would like that to happen. I think it would just be overall easier to balance the class. I think Blizzard is very, very... They can't balance something that always crits properly without just making it shit. Lava Burst always crits, right? They know that happens. You know what they do to balance it? They just assume it's the same. They just make the damage as if it was a hit. That's it. Fucking crazy. Nothing wrong with critting a lot. Crit itself is pretty garbage. I talked about this last week. If you want to check that, check out, I think, Thursday's Daily. Thursday's Daily, I talked about how crit is a bit of a fuck-up. And fucks up Destruction Warlocks too. Yeah, Ellie Shamans are a great playstyle. I think anything that has really natural cleave is also a problem and makes your class vulnerable. If you're playing Ellie Shaman, you are vulnerable to severe nerf batting. If they get a fight that just has permanent cleave, like, what's it called in Heart of Fear? You know the one. Not that Shamans are really demolishing there either, but Chain Lightning is just such an easy decision to make that they have to kind of nerf around it. That's the problem. They have to really balance on the idea that, hey, this guy could just spam Chain Lightning. It's not a decision that needs thinking about. Most people, when it comes to AoE, are thinking, how many mobs are here? Which kind of AoE shall I use? Is there 4 mobs, 5 mobs? Then I need to make a decision. There has to be a process involved, not just change from Lightning... Windlord. Not just change Lightning Bolt to Chain Lightning, and now I'm just doing obscene amounts of damage. I always felt quite bad in Cataclysm, in the Heroic raids, where... there's a very, very good Elemental Shaman in Method. I think he's still there. I've got to play with him quite recently in Mists of Pandaria. It's called Katsumi. Katsumi was an Ellie Shaman. I kind of felt bad sometimes on Katsumi because if there was cleave and trash, Katsumi would be destroying the DPS. Absolutely raping it. If you think about the blobs on your Sarge, things like that, he would just be demolishing everybody all the time, unless some Fire Mage blew his combustion all over it. But he would just be raping. Spine Heroic. His damage would be obscene. It's like the Moonkins, just multi-dot and everything. He'd just be Chain Lightning. That was his decision process. I can Chain Lightning here, job done. And then it comes to a straight up single target boss, and he'd be kind of languishing in the middle, although he's an extremely good player. I never really, I kind of always thought, that class just, because of that easy decision making, if AoE or cleave becomes such an easy decision, you're going to be balanced around it. Like combat rogues are always balanced around the fact that they can just switch on Blade Flurry. But luckily, they get a penalty for doing so in terms of energy regeneration, so it can be balanced easier. Yes, you can cleave now, but there's a penalty. There ain't a great deal of penalty for Elemental Shamans in terms of just switching to Chain Lightning. That's the only thing that bothers me about Elemental Shamans, is I feel they get punished too much because of that. Let's make the decision process have a bit of a punishment or weaker. That's all I want to say. Anything else? What about Windwalkers? Windwalkers, should we have a look? Let's have a look, see, shall we? I'm not sure when Windwalkers are. All I know is I have a member of my family who has just re-rolled to a Windwalker monk and is quite literally in love with it. In love with it. I mean, absolutely in love with it. He thinks it is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I personally am not a great fan of it. I've got to be honest, I'm not an amazing fan. Let's have a quick look. Is that Brewmaster? It is. Tanks. Okay, I'm not seeing any top passes from the Windwalkers. Let's see where their damage is, though. Monk. That one's Windwalker. Let's have a look at it. Looks good. Looks fine. Looks fine. You're not. They're not pushing the top world. #1 in the world, but hell, Fire Mages are probably going to hold those records for fucking God knows how long now. But I'm seeing on, say, Lei Shi, all within the 100k range, which is pretty nice. Let's see the Windlord. Let's have a quick look at the Windlord, because he's the one with the AoE. Let's see how they're doing overall on AoE. I think that'd be a pretty nice idea. Windlord. That one. Top 40 passes are all above 200k to 242k, which is a little bit of luck, but that's not bad either. 242k. If we compare that to, say, the Rets, let's have a look how the Rets are performing on the same boss. Much higher than the Rets on consistent AoE, which is nice. And only 20k behind the top Fire Mages. So you're fine. Your Windlords are okay. Your Windlords are alright. You're doing fine. Which is good to see, especially after the buff. These are all recent logs, it looks like. So it looks like the buff to Tiger, or the nerf or reworking of the Tiger Strike, is actually coming very, very handy. I'm looking at all these dates, and they're actually very, very new. After patch 5.1, actually. All of them after 5.1, which is both gear and the fix. So look at all the Fire Mages, no top report, since before 5.1. That's pretty sad. That's pretty fucking sad. But Windwalkers, you're doing alright, guys. You're doing alright, which is pretty cool. Fury Arms. Fury at the moment, as far as I know. Fury at the moment. Should we check? Anybody else you want me to check? You guys could do this yourselves, by the way. It's not hard, as you can see. I've done it pretty quickly. Let's see. Fury, 240k, and Arms, 270k. So on a big AoE fight like Windlord, Fury is about 40k ahead. So Fury overall, especially as the... we're not going into Avatar versus Bloodbath. There's reasons how it works. Common sense reasons, by the way. Monks are Alakirs, preach to yourself. One thing I would change about WoW, I would significantly, I mean dramatically overhaul the Arcane Mage and the Destruction Warlock. I mean dramatically overhaul those classes and to make them amazing. To make them amazing. And introduction of more mini stuff to do. The only thing I dislike about WoW at the moment is the lack of community. That is it. I have no other complaints. I still love this fucking game. I tried to log in today, but my wonderful fiance took my phone. So I may be live streaming. Time are we on? Okay, in about 20 minutes, I'm going to live stream Sunwell Plateau. If any of you want to join me, I need some footage for tomorrow's, well, Monday's video, which is today. But I need some footage, but I couldn't log in today because she had my authenticator, like a lame ass. But I'll be doing it in 15 minutes. I'm not changing the time of the daily. I just reworked my life around the daily. It's pretty easy. It was the simplest solution was to rework me rather than rework you guys. That made it pretty good. I have to change PC. My gaming streaming PC is over there. So I will be turning this stream off and going over there. Anything else? Anything else? Oh, you're asking about our stream. Okay, I'm going to go now. Shadow Priest. Let's have a quick look at Shadow Priest. A very quick look at Shadow Priest. I'm interested. I am interested in seeing where we're at. Okay, Shadow Priest AoE is dramatically different. So we can assume that one was cheesed. Remember, if you're looking at World of Logs, guys, and you see something that looks way out, it probably is. I would say, unlike Windlord, they're sitting about 180k DPS, which is pretty low. That is pretty low. Let's look at something that has a lot of variety in it. Let's try Spirit King. Spirit King should have some nice logs on it now. It's been out for a little while. Where's the Spirit Kings? There we go. Look at this Kuznam guy beating Blatty. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Spirit Kings. Little inside, I know. Never look at the best fight for your class, by the way. What a fucking waste of time that is. A lot of people do that. 100k. Varying from 100k down to 92k. So that's actually a nice sample there, actually. Only 8k difference in the top 40 DPSs. Pretty consistent there, actually. I'm actually really impressed by those numbers. That is nice. Going from 93k to 103k at the top over the top 40 passes. That's good to see. That is really good. Nice consistency from the Shadow Priest there. That's doing fucking really nicely. It's really nicely. We look at like an Elemental Shaman. What's the variation there on an Ellie? 97k down to, you see, 97k down to 88. Still a 10k difference, but overall low. Overall pretty fucking low. Wow, 97k is the very best an Elemental Shaman's been able to pull off on that fight. That's pretty. Yeah, it's not terrible, obviously, but it's not where we'd like it to see. If we compare it to, if say you're an Ellie Shaman and you're doing your best and you get 97k, and then a Fire Mage comes in and does 120k, 20k DPS over a long ass fight. I mean, that fight is 5 minutes long. 5 minutes long, doing 20,000 more damage per second. That's pretty fucking insane difference right there. That is a crazy amount of difference. That is really strange. That is really fucking. That's what it's about with Ellie Shamans. They're just not in a nice place right now. If another class is pulling, if you want to know why Fire Mages are nerfed, that's why they're doing 20,000 more DPS over 5 minutes. Some of these logs are actually 5 minutes 43. That's nearly 6 minutes. 6 minutes, 6 minutes 40 from this DPS array. We managed to do 110k DPS over 6.5 minutes compared to an Ellie Shaman doing 97k in 4 minutes. Ooh, that's pretty fucking grim, that dude. That's bad situation. And again, rogues around the 100k. Not bad at all. Okay, I'm done. I could be checking logs for about an hour. I'm done. I'm going to stop. Okay, last shout. Store tomorrow is the last chance before Christmas. Other than that, have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to be live streaming in about 15 minutes, just doing a Sunwell Plateau. It's for footage, so I won't be DPSing. I will be filming you guys. So if you want to come along, you don't need to wear or be anything specific. Just be the level or higher than the dungeon. I will be on the other PC, so I'll be on this channel in about probably 5 minutes, actually. I'll just switch over now. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. All right, ballers, have a great day. I'll play the intro for you as well.